So I think you can break up the Old Testament into three major parts. The first part we kind of did a couple weeks ago, where we started with the story of Abraham and then went to Isaac and Jacob and Joseph and then Moses, and then up to Joshua and the book of Judges. So from Genesis to Judges, it's the time before the kingdom, the time where the people of God are being formed and major covenants with God and the people are being established. And then the second main part, which we're probably not going to go over this cycle this year, we do it next year, next cycle, is that of the kingdom. So starting with Saul and David and Solomon, and then this kingdom, this nation with a king is divided into two kingdoms. They split. You have the northern kingdom, you have the southern kingdom, and then this major part ends with the exiles. First, the Assyrians, who exiled the northern kingdom in 722 BC, and then the Babylonians, who exile and conquer the southern kingdom in 587 BC. And so the third part, which the book of Ezra is in, and which we're going to look at in a whole bunch of other books, is what we call the return. So you have these exiles, the nation, the kingdom is destroyed, but then you have the Persians who defeat the Babylonians, and now they decide and allow the fellow Jews to come back to the nation, but under Persian occupation. Now the thing about that is, many of them don't come back. Only a very small remnant come back to Israel. So, we'll take Joe the Jew, for example. So Joe's exiled to a foreign land, maybe to the island of Sicily, all right? And Joe, while he's there, he starts up an occupation, and he finds an Italian woman, Angie, and now all of a sudden he's getting word that he can come back, and Joe the Jew's like, I kind of like it here. I have my job, my occupation, found a nice woman, a nice Italian woman, why come back? And that's what many Jews did. They just kind of stayed there. They're like, you know what, I'm fine here, So the book of Ezra, small return back to the nation, but a nation that has been destroyed. There's no temple. All the major things, they were ravished, destroyed by the Babylonians. And so they're coming back as broken people to a broken nation, still under a foreign occupation. And so when we look at today's first reading, Ezra is kind of, this is the only day we get Ezra. We're going to go into another book tomorrow. So we're kind of at the end of the book of Ezra, and Ezra is kind of just looking around and just kind of reflecting on what has happened to this great nation. And he stays and he says, in my wretchedness, I am too ashamed and confounded to raise my face. O God, our wicked deeds are heaped upon our heads, and our guilt reaches up to heaven. Ezra looks back at the history of the last 50 years and sees Israel as one that has abandoned their lover. They lost who they were. They followed, they worshipped the foreign gods, they worshiped themselves. All their major decisions and directions in life revolved around their own self-pleasure. They lost who they were. And so for Ezra, the exile and just the brokenness and the feeling of loss, the physicalness of it is a sign of the spiritual desolation and exile that they have experienced from God. But it doesn't end with Ezra there, because then the second half of this first reading, but now the mercy has come upon us. Ezra still sees the mercy and the love of God in the exile, in the brokenness, and in the destruction that is surrounding him of this one great nation. That God is still in love with him. We are sometimes lost. We are exiled, if you think about it. When we kind of lose that sense of direction, purpose, and mission in life, We are lost human beings. We might know where we're at, we might be comfortable, but spiritually we could be feeling this desolation, this awayness from God in exile, because we forgot about who our lover is, and we forgot about who the direction of our love is oriented to. We are so tempted and so often drawn into this self-love where the center of our lives revolves around ourselves, and then we lose who we are. We lose, in a sense, we're exiled. And so our mission, our relation, our identity is rooted in the one who has formed and shaped us. If you think about it, if we believe that God has made us, then our ultimate purpose in life has to somehow involve him. It has to. Just like any great work of art is always connected to the creator. The creator's mind has given that creation a purpose and destination. And if it's true with us, and if God really did create us, which is one of our tenets of our belief, then our identity and who we are has to be involved in relation to him. May God bless you.